Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watchbox, and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, tmosso@thewatchbox.com. It's in the description below. It is your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see on any Watchbox platform. Please reach out to me directly. Email tmosso@thewatchbox.com for pricing details. Today, we are discussing the Sinn EZM 3 diving watch. This is the Einsatzzeitmesser Mission Timer number 3, featuring the case design and styling cues of the legendary EZM1. So this watch is wearable in media blasted steel at 41 millimeters in diameter, 12.5 millimeters thick. It is 48 millimeters from lug tip to lug tip if we just count the case. If we count the bracelet and its end links, total distance across the wrist is 50.7 millimeters with a 20 millimeter spacing between the lugs. We'll pop this watch open, we'll throw it on my 16 centimeter circumference wrist and get a sense of how it fits, and it fits nicely. It's low enough that it will fit underneath the cuff, so not designed as a dress watch, it nevertheless will fit underneath a dress cuff. Taking a look from side to side, the lugs are nowhere near the edge of my wrist. I can recommend this watch as it is on the bracelet for a wrist as small as 14 centimeters circumference. I think a lady could get away with this watch if it were fitted on a strap for a more compact fit. Here's the look over the top. You can see I've got plenty of lug clearance on that side, plenty of lug clearance on this side. We're doing quite well. This is a good match for me. The strap, well, right now, there is no strap because we're looking at the factory bracelet, and the factory bracelet is outstanding. There's an integrated end link, so you can more easily see how it mates to the case and matches the slope of the lug, so there's no daylight between a bracelet and case. Taking a quick look, it's a simple design with a 2-link profile, H-pattern intermediates. There's a little bit of a taper down to the clasp, and Sinn uses hex screws for its removable links because it knows that it's harder to round off and strip hex screws, which allows you to apply more torque when you fix these links in place for more security on the wrist. Now, there is a fold-out dive extension. Huzzah, we love those, for use over a wetsuit, a dry suit, or even just your winter coat or sweater in cold weather. You can find ways to make this useful even if you don't dive. There are 3 pairs of divots drilled into the clasp, which means you can use your strap tool to change the anchoring point of the spring bar. That allows you to fine-tune the fit. It is made of stainless steel, and it has thick gauge construction with a single swing arm and a clamshell lock with very tight tolerances. The case is inspired by the 1997 EZM1 and all of its subsequent re-releases, as well as its sequel, the EZM 1.1. These sharply angular lugs with bevels on their profile are broken out from the case band. They are chiseled, they are angular, thrusting, forceful, and give the watch a lot of personality, tying it strongly to Sinn's design icon, the EZM1. We have a small set of shearing guards for the crown, which is a screw down, and the watch has a superior 500-meter water resistance in spite of its compact size. You can see that everything has been bead blasted, which is great because it does a good job of hiding marks, but also when a bead blasted watch goes back for refinishing, you don't have to remove material by polishing. You can just bead blast it again, so you don't have to reductively refinish it. That's one of the advantages of a bead blasted watch. We have a little copper sulfate capsule. So 2 things are done. You see it says AR on the dial, and initially the AR watches were argon filled. Now it's nitrogen, but they still use the old symbol. So it's nitrogen filled to remove all moisture, dust, and impurities. And then there's this copper sulfate capsule. It starts white, and over time, as moisture intrudes into the case by various means, this little capsule will pull that moisture out. And over a period of years, it will slowly turn bright blue. And when it does, it can be removed from the case and replaced when the watch goes in for service, but it actively dehumidifies the interior of the watch. Now, another feature that you can't see outwardly is that this watch uses Sinn's high temperature and low temperature resilient lubricants. So it can deal with temperatures as low as negative 45 degrees Celsius and as high as 80 degrees Celsius. Basically unsurvivable by human beings, but very much survivable by this watch. Finally, the watch has a soft iron inner shield that endows it with 80,000 ampere per meter anti-magnetic qualities. So that's roughly equivalent to mil-Gauss. They're not exactly the same thing, but that's rough equivalence. And so this is a highly anti-magnetic watch in addition to all its other virtues. Sinn uses a top grade, which was second only to chronometer, of the Sellita SW200-1. It's a bidirectional automatic winder with a 38-hour power reserve, a 4 hertz beat rate. It has stop seconds or hacking. It has a quick set date, and it pivots on 26 joules. It is a thin and very rugged movement. As good as the 2892 is, the 2824 architecture is a lot tougher, and the SW200 is Sellita's version of the ETA 2824. That's what you have in this watch. You can see there's not a lot of action going on the case back, but it does advertise a little, letting you know what you are getting. And then finally, we have a unidirectional rotating dive style bezel. It is a 60-click bezel, which you can rotate and locate with sufficient precision. The bezel insert is aluminum, and here's the thing about this watch. The luminescence, especially the size of the bezel pearl, is outstanding. Plus, you get a luminescent seconds hand, which every dive watch should have. I don't know why every dive watch doesn't let you know it's running in the dark. And the feel of this bezel is on par with the likes of Doxa, the Panerai Luminor submersibles. Really good, really sharp, really loud, and really memorable. I enjoy this bezel immensely. It's a make or break factor for a dive watch, and this one really makes the experience. Reach out to Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details of this Frankfurt, Germany built Sinn EZM 3.